in the sense of providing So, what I would say, or I'm suggesting, is that we in the South Asian region work more towards working together and exploring our faiths and integrating them into a public mental health approach, thereby building resilience. Even as we see climate change and all these issues coming up, what can we do about it? We have to be more resilient. We have to face these challenges and be strong in our minds. And in such a situation, in our parts of the world, we need to understand the importance of faith in the application and life.
Thank you, Professor. It's been an eye-opening session, which I'm sure will open new avenues of thought for all the psychiatrists that are present in the session today. Now it's time for the question and answer session. Please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My question is, sir, urbanization and climate change causes stress and affect mental health, but the most of the people in our country don't see them as the real reason of the stress. So, as a psychiatrist or psychiatric trainee, how can we help patients understand these factors are associated with the mental health condition? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question. I think because of the shortage of time, I couldn't speak. One of the solution is that let's try to sensitize the mental health professionals first. We should be really aware that these are some of the sociological factors that can have an impact on mental health. Once we know that, once we acknowledge that, then we may be able to understand the impact, especially on the general population. And one way forward, which we have been advocating from this platform of geopsychiatry group, that there should be a curriculum that should really be based on making our professional colleagues, trainees, young psychiatrists more aware about that. And we are currently preparing some educational material, which we will be sharing with all the member societies of WPA, so that they can share all this information with their other colleagues. So in my view, the first step is that let's try to teach and let's try to sensitize our own selves on this particular topic. Because if we are aware about the impact of climate change, we may be able to identify and we may be able to request the policymakers or other people who are involved in taking care of the services for making this an important aspect of mental health care.
Thank you for your very succinct answer, sir. I hope everyone is having a very transformative morning. So, our second question that we will be taking from the first responder, and this question is for our second presenter, Professor Shihan, sir. And the person who asked this question is Dr. Shahinur Islam. If you could please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Shahinur Islam, phase A resident, BMU. My question is to our second presenter. How do, as a psychiatry trainee, how we preserve cultural value from postmodernism effect? Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good question. What I am saying is that postmodernism is more open to our diverse views and our faiths. And it does sort of help us integrate it into our practice. And the world now acknowledges that each individual has a subjective understanding of the world, which is different from the other. And what we sort of as South Asian trainees in psychiatry have to realize is that while we understand the science, we also understand the local context and how that science should be applied in the faith and cultural background of each individual patient. We see how we can sort of bridge that gap and make that science relevant to a person whose understanding of their life and their experiences is very different from the scientific understanding of it. So I think we need to really do some work, even as young trainees, as to how we can sort of make it more relevant to our patient in our practice.
Thank you so much, sir, for clarifying such a very difficult concept. And I believe after this session, as psychiatrists, we will all be encouraged to study a bit of philosophy to apply it in our practice. So now we have come to the segment of our chairperson's discussion. I now invite our honorable chairs for their concluding remarks and discuss the key takeaways. I would kindly request our first chair, Professor Dr. Syed Mahfuzul Haq, sir, to please share his insights on the session.
Distinguished delegates, organizers, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for having me with you, and the August gathering has been listening to leading stalwarts in the world of psychiatry. Professor Afzal Javed, a very good friend of Bangladesh psychiatry, and Professor Shehan Williams, good friend of ours, and we are all familiar with them. And the topics they chosen. The first one, the urbanization, climate change, and its impact. We all know this is a problem of today. Urbanization, climate change, and mental health, they are all interconnected. Already, Professor Afzal Javed has pointed out the advantages and disadvantages. What we get with urbanization, on one hand, there is a civilization, the novel civil society, the novel lifestyle. On the other hand, we have the slum dwellers. We see the skyscrapers on one side, We see the slum dwellers on the other hand. And we see the inequalities. And these, along with this climate change, which has given rise to so many catastrophes in all countries world over, especially so in our country, Bangladesh. We are seeing floods. Every day we are seeing cyclones. We're seeing the Rana Plaza occurrences. These are all happened during this because of this urbanization and climate change. I would point out here that they have discussed this very elaborately. I don't have to go through that one. Even then, I think we, the psychiatrists, we have a role in these things. We can uh, emphasize on the mental health aspects of this urbanization problem, mental health aspects of this climate change problem, and mental health aspects of how our thought, how our emotion, how our behavior acts during these catastrophes. And I think Bangladesh Association of Psychiatrists, they can take a role and they can train and they can teach our people throughout Bangladesh where and how we can handle these problems. The second speaker, Professor Shehan Williams, has very elaborately, he has expressed his thinkings or what we are thinking nowadays in a country like Bangladesh, in a country like Sri Lanka or any other Southeast Asian countries. We are living with our beliefs. We are living with our faith. We are living with our system. We are living with our religion. And he has he has pointed out very nicely the relationship, how we can, how this faith, how these beliefs, this system can manipulate our thoughts, how they impact on our uh, day-to-day life, how they impact on our system of therapy, how they can be incorporated into the treatment modalities like psychotherapies. Uh, when I first came to psychiatry, one thing I was that it was usually we used to tell that the traditional healers or the religious teachers, they were the teachers of psychiatrists in our country. Well, even now, you see the faith healers or the religious teachers or the traditional healers, they are the primary persons who are dealing with mental health in our country. And there is no doubt that this faith has commendable, commendable position in our everyday life. So I thank both the speakers for their eloquent speech, and I thank the audience here. They're so anxious here, and this is a fine morning. Even then, I can find out that the audience is satisfactory. Thank you, the organizers. Thank you, the audiences. Thank you all. Once again, thank you.
Eloquent and concise takeaway. Now I'd like to invite our second chair, Professor Dr. A. Hafizur Rahman, sir, for his kind insights, please.
time till today, we are now very much interactive to each other, and he is very much interactive with the Bangladesh secretaries. He was physically was supposed to come in this meeting, but he has undergone a bypass surgery, and the doctors have advised him not to go frequent travel. That's why he could not come here. I I am thankful to both of the speakers for their, though not physical presence, but their and another presence with us, among our delegates, among our other members. So I am again thankful to them. Thank you very much. Thank you all the delegates.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, we are very honored to have Professor Afzal Javed sir and Professor Shihan Williams sir for joining us from miles and miles and oceans away. And we are extremely grateful to our respected chairs, Professor Syed Mahfuzul Haq sir and Professor Dr. H.M. Mustafizur Rahman sir, for their constant guidance. Before I sign off, dear audience, we now have a tea break and a poster presentation. And after that, there will be a plenary 2 thematic session in this same hall room. So please join accordingly. Thank you so much.
Dear audience, please come on to the hall by 10:40. We have extended our time for 10 minutes, but sharp 10:40 we'll resume back to our session. Thank you. Please come back by 10:40. 10:40 there will be four speakers. 3 will be from abroad and 1 from Bangladesh. Thank you.